So, it's March 5th, Sunday. Didn't go to Vernon this weekend. Went to the girlfriend's in Penticton, and today we just thought we'd go for a little drive between Summerland and Peachland in the bush. We're just like not far off the highway. We run parallel to the highway and the road we're on. And we just stopped to got the wool blanket out, sit, have a coffee, and thought we'd kick an old stump and see if there was any fat wood. And I don't have any of my gear with me today that I would have if I was out doing something, so had this in the toolbox in the truck. And sure enough, there's a little bit of fat wood in there, so we're going to cut it open and see how good it is in there. It's going to be a little difficult getting into cut this here. And it's not a great saw at all. I just kind of had it in the box. Oh, horrible saw, very hard work. Well, definitely some in there. And I can smell it. Not like solid. I'll split it up a bit and get what I can out of it just for fun here. So I just used the claw of my hammer to split that piece open on this rock here. You can see it in there. It's just not like solid, like that all the way through. Just, I found it where it's just solid, but it's got some weight to it and you can smell it. I'll take that home like this and clean it up a bit. Should I try this one? If it's like the one before I just tried now, it was all rotted on the outside, but the very inside had a bit. Maybe I'll peel this one apart and look. Nope. Just a very, very teeny amount and a faint smell in those pieces, but they're mostly light and flaky and dead. But not enough to use. Just no weight to it. Teeny bit of weight, but I think it's so out of those two pieces there actually was a teeny weeny little bit. Not super heavy, well, it's not bad really. Let's take home and use stuff for sure. Yeah, there's some weight to that. Let's try this one. Nope, nothing in that one. Well, there's a few others we might check, but that just goes to show if you were in a pinch and had a hammer and a little saw, even on a multi-tool on your belt, a little saw to that, the last minute emergency, you got nothing but that at least. Minimum, and just like a couple minutes work, you can find fat wood. And we're just this close to a road. Maybe we'll try some more of those stumps. That's the first one we did. I don't really feel like working too hard to get the rest of that out. I do have a shovel and an axe on the roof rack mount, but I just don't feel like getting them out. Wasn't solid enough anyways that I put effort into getting the rest of it out. It wiggles good. You'd think you'd almost be able to pull it out, but the ground under there is frozen in. That's just kind of loose and a bunch of dead stuff. And here's the bark. So that's the circumference of it. Thought I'd try this one out. It's pretty tall. I think some of these got cut in the winter time, maybe, is why they're so high. You wouldn't cut those at like over 4 feet high. Had to be when there's a bunch of snow when there's a bunch of snow up here. When there's a bunch of snowpack up here. I'm guessing. So this is the mess I've made. Very faint sign. There's some in the knot. Quite a bit in there is really good. And then just light saturation going down. But if I was to keep working at it and get the saw out, but I don't want to do that. Got to get right down in there. So just a little short video there to show you how easy it could really be to find some fatwood if you really needed it. And we're just on a drive. We're like, we could walk out from where we are. I don't have a lot of survival gear in the truck. I can get a fire going and a shelter. That's about it. We could walk out if we had to, and not long at all. And there's a bunch of homes just down a little ways. Rural properties. So this is the area we were in. It's between Summerland and Peachland. You can go down the green road. You just can't go off it at all in all that pink area. And we are a little past Garnet Lake, the little lake on the left. Hey, it's snowing in the truck. So this is the entranceway to Garnet Lake. We just didn't feel like walking in. It's not far, teeny bit of a walk, but I don't like leaving my vehicle in remote areas. Hey, it's May 13th. We're back at the location where I was getting that fatwood because I forgot it all up here. I never came to get it until now because it's 20 minutes out of the way from my route to work, and it was just that's 40 minutes there and back that I just didn't want to do. I was going to come up from the Peachland side from getting off work in Kelowna on the way to Penticton and driving through, but it's a closed, well, part of the way from that side is closed for the winter to protect the mule deer habitat up here. And so I couldn't do the drive through for convenience. I did go look at it, and the road is just, the start is a steep straight up. I'm not a good 4x4, so it was out of my abilities to be driving up that steep hill, and my tires aren't very good. And there it is, right where I left it. So we're going to take it home, clean it up, and see how well it burns. Yeah, it's an alright handful, and like I say, I can feel the weight of it, so that'll be good to get me by for a while. So I've cut off a piece, and I'll just lay it there, and since I don't have 3 hands, let's see how well it, yeah, see, look at that. Good stuff. I'm just doing this carefully on the dirt road here. Even though it's spraying, everything's drying up already right away. Alright, so there, got some good fat wood. Alright, even though it's out, let's just play Mr. Safety. Well, we found this information board because we've continued driving up Fur Brigade Trail. And there's supposed to be a lookout we're going to go check out. Okay, so as I say, we came up from Summerland towards Garnet Lake, past the lake, took the right fork where that mule deer closure sign was. We've now passed where I was getting the fat wood and took another fork to the right because a guy we stopped to talk to on a dirt bike said there was a nice viewpoint up here, which I knew there was because I can see it on, I can't remember if it was Google Maps or where I saw it, but I did know there was a lookout up here. Do I go up there to it? I can see a clearing. And this Fur Brigade trail just comes out at Hardy Falls. We're allowed to be on it now. The closure ends at the end of April. And the road right through to into Peachland is one of the left forks, I believe. But this fork down at Hardy Falls has a really steep, gnarly ending to it that I'd be too scared to drive my vehicle down because I have never done 4x4ing before. I think I see a sign up there and
huge rock, huge rock.
Oh, a huge rock. Let's back up a little more. Yep, knew I saw a sign through the bushes and trees. And the guy on the dirt bike was right. He said, you won't regret it. And it was only like a couple minutes past where I was getting that fat wood. Okanagan Lake, Penticton that way. Peachland, and the road we're on now kind of comes out a real narrow walking path that you can barely get a vehicle through in a cattle guard at Hardy Falls, just before Peachland from Summerland. And one of the left forks, as I said, if you look on BC Backroads map book or Google Earth or what have you, comes out in Peachland at the top of Princeton Avenue. And then Kelowna, farther back. That's the deepest engraving of initials I've ever seen. They really made a mess of that tree. Oh, I think they scraped out a name. They're not together anymore. Aww. This is a nice living tree. They shouldn't have done that. And there's a nice fire pit. Great place to come up for a fire or a night. BC Crown Land. Well, I mean, we're right close to the highway and stuff, but what a great province and a great country. Just go up into the bush, all our mountains. Over there is Okanagan Mountain Park. Access it from South Kelowna. Divide Lake is in there. Just pretty much straight up over there. And then a little lake. Yeah, that all burnt quite a few years ago. And the KVR trail is behind that on the other mountain. Comes out in Naramata. Both Okanagan Mountain Park trails and the KVR come out in Naramata and down into Penticton. There's a story about that little island. A guy was gonna put an amusement park on it. Had a lot of plans. I think there's even a movie made about it, a little documentary someone local made. But he never did it. And here's another fire pit and a little bench someone made. Actually, it's not crown land here. It's we're in the district, regional district area. Well, it was nice to get back and grab that fatwood. I was in the area this weekend. I was in Summerland for an Aikido seminar. Goodbye seminar for Kelowna instructor Pat Olson, 6th Dan. And there were guest instructor Jim Barnes, 6th Dan. And main feature 7th Dan Yumi Nakamura from back east. I only did the morning class. I haven't trained in quite a few years. I'm really out of shape. It was a weekend-long seminar, so I didn't do last night. Oh, there's no class tomorrow, so just a day-and-a-half seminar. And there's a social at one of the Summerland pubs tonight that we're gonna go to. So I might add a few pictures from class to the end of this video to show you how the day went there. So this is driving out from the lookout. So I don't know if this counts for back where we just were at the lookout or just on the way out of here. But no camping or open fires. So to the right is where we just were at the lookout. We're heading back into Summerland now. And to the left, I think, is the road that goes to the upper part of Peachland. There's some power lines here and fencing. I've heard rumors there's a guy up here with private property and the road kind of just goes through a corner of his property. He really hates people going through. I'm not sure if he can really stop people from going on a closed road, but in the same sense, people should be staying on the road and not coming off it onto his property. I don't know how it works. Whereas to the right is Fur Brigade trail coming out before Peachland at Hardy Falls. Okay, we just came from the right. And that's that mule deer closure up to the end of April. And to the left, I think, I don't know. I think the left kind of cuts up around Garnet Lake, but I don't know if maybe this is the left that goes up Princeton Avenue out of Peachland. One of the left branches anyways. But to the right, and then where we were, definitely goes down into Hardy Falls before Peachland. Just not sure if it's this left or the other left I showed you that goes up to Princeton Avenue in Peachland.